What's up, my poker players? Hope you guys are crushing it out on the tables. Today, I'm going to show you how to win with an ace high. I'm going to update the HUD. I'm going to show you how to recognize steal opportunities. And I'm going to show you a hand where I c-bet and accidentally hit a backdoor draw, which is what happens once in a while. That's one extra way to win a c-bet. So in this first hand, we have ace-king in the hijack seat. Sexy Stan from under the gun raises, and we 3-bet pre-flop with ace-king. Sexy Stan is a very loose player. He's got high 3-bet frequencies, very high aggression factor, and he bets pretty much every flop turn and slows it down a little bit on the river, but bets still a lot on the river as well. And so our 3-bet pretty much isolates Sexy Stan, who makes a call from under the gun, and the flop is pretty dry. It's a queen high, 2 hearts, $2.09 in the pot, and Sexy Stan comes out and bets, and he's betting 74% of hands, most of which are not hitting that board. So I make a call. We've got backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, 2 overcards. I know it's not that great of a hand, but I think there's a good chance our hand is actually in the lead, playing the numbers and statistics that he is. And he comes out and bets even a little bit smaller than he did on the last one. I still think we're good here with just an ace high, betting 77% of his hands. That's crazy. So I make a call, and we hit another queen on the river. None of the draws got there. We still have ace high. This is a big pot. We've got 46 big blinds in the pot, and he comes out and he min bets it. I'm just gonna call with an ace high, and he had an ace high as well, betting it the whole way. That's one of those plays that works once in a while, and when it does, it feels great, but I don't think it's a play that you can make very often. It's a very select spot that you can make a play like that. You really have to choose which player you're gonna call down with ace high, and that was one of the people. And now we're going to update the HUD so we can get a more specific read on our opponents. Open up the HUD designer, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand the top line and add in total VPIP and total pre-flop raise. And in the second line, I'm adding stats for how my opponents react to 3 bets and 4 bets pre-flop, so that I can recognize re-steal opportunities. So if someone folds a ton to 3 bets pre-flop and he makes a steal from the button, I can recognize great opportunities to make a re-steal no matter which cards are in my hand. And I also want to know 4-bet, fold to 4 bets. So if I am holding a great hand and this player folds a ton to 4 bets, I can start to slow down on my aces, my kings, so that I can maximize my wins on these type of players that have a very high fold to 4 bets, or to 3 bets for that matter. I'm just changing the fold to steal, just putting that in the front so that it's easier to recognize. I do try to make a lot of steal plays, and I want that to be in the front of that line so it catches my eye right away. And I'm moving up the total re-steal so that when I steal and this player comes back at me, I can recognize how often this player re-steals and decide how to play against this player post-flop or pre-flop. And now that I have the HUD reset to my liking, I am going to write everything down and create a cheat sheet. And here's my cheat sheet. It's pretty basic. It pretty much just shows exactly what my HUD setup is. It shouldn't take long for this to become ingrained in my head so that I barely have to look at it. But I like to keep this right in front of me while I'm playing, and especially multi-tabling, just so if something were to happen, I look down at it quick and I can easily reference where I am, which stats I want to look at. And we're back to poker play. We're looking at pocket 10s from the button now. We have a raise from the hijack seat from Just Cash, who looks like he's got solid numbers. Not quite a regular yet. We only have 655 hands on this player, but looks like he plays well. And we get a call from the big blind as well. 3 players see the flop, queen high, rainbow board. Checks around to us. We are just going to check back. 10s are pretty much just showdown value with a flop like this. And we hit a 3 on the turn. That card probably didn't help too many players there. And we get a check from Poca Taja and a check check from just cash as well. At this point, I think the 10s are good, so I'm going to bet 2/3 pot to make any draw or medium pair pay. And the river is a 6. And again, we just have showdown value, so I'm just going to check back the river and we win with 10s. Next hand we're looking at is pocket jacks from under the gun. Make it 4x to play, and we get called from Jay Kiesel, who is a pretty regular player, makes a lot of calls pre-flop, not very aggressive, and we flop a king high board, rainbow. I just check back with the king high, and he checks back as well. And again, I'm just going to check back, and I see that this player has a 51% turn bet, which is relatively high. He's got a 60% river bet as well. So I think he's betting a lot of draws right here, one of which hits in the flush draw. So I just check back the river, and he checks back as well. He was betting a straight draw, which he missed, obviously. Next hand we're looking at is pocket 9s from the small blind, and it checks around to 322, who makes a min bet on the button. We don't have many stats on 322, only 39 hands. I'm just going to make a call pre-flop here. We get a call from the big blind as well. This is a wet board, a lot of draws out there. We flop middle set, so I come out fire a 2/3 pot size bet, and we get a call from 322. The straight draw hits, a couple possible straight draws hit with the jack on the turn, so I just check back to see where this guy's at, and he checks back as well. The river is a deuce of diamonds, so now the diamond draw also hit. I bet half pot right there just to kind of protect my hand, maybe get some value out of a middle pair or a jack. But if this player comes back over the top, I'm just gonna get rid of that hand, or really think hard about calling with a set and a very possible straights, flushes out there. But he does make a fold, and we pick up a decent pot right there with a set and a lot of possible strong hands out there. Next hand we're looking at is 5-8 offsuit from the big blind. Pretty much the only time you're ever going to see a 5-8 offsuit in any of these videos are when I'm playing them from the blinds, or if I make a crazy steal play on someone who folds 100% of the time. So we get a limp from the cutoff, and the small blind makes a call. I'm just going to check pre-flop here to see a flop, and we wind up flopping 3 of a kind. And I'm going to come out firing with the flush out there, flush draws out there. We've got straight draws out there, and an ace high. One of the flush draws, or the hard draw hits on the turn, but I'm going to continue betting. There's a good chance we could fill up by the river, and there's a possibility that this player has just an ace in his hand. And we hit a jack on the river. I just check it back. I don't know what this guy could be playing. I'm pretty much just gonna check call any river there, and he checks back as well, and we pick up a good sized pot again right there. And the next hand we're looking at is pocket queens from the small blind, and the big fiend player we just got in a pot with again makes a limp. I think this player plays pretty fishy. He's not being very aggressive at all pre-flop, and we get a call, or we get a raise on the button from black on black on black. Looks like an isolation bet, so I'm gonna come back over the top and put some pressure on these players. I don't want to get in a big hand with them out of position, especially if they're extremely fishy players, which it seems like they are. And the big fiend, they both make calls, which is crazy. We flop a dry board 10 high. I'm gonna continue betting. I think I'm good here, and we get a call from the big fiend. I have no idea what this player could be playing, so you have to bet into a player like that and make him pay for any possible draw he could be on. Black on black makes a fold, and I'm gonna get it all in here with the big fiend, and he makes a call with an ace high and a gut shot. Hit his ace on the river. Wow, ace deuce, calls a 3-bet, limp calls a 3-bet pre-flop, calls with an ace high and a gut shot on the flop and turn. So we know that this guy is definitely a fish now, and we get in a hand with him again. This time we have ace 9 offsuit, and he does his regular old limp from middle position. Make an isolation bet here. We flop our ace, and I know that this guy does not fold at all, so I'm going to continuation bet and make him pay for any draws. And the flush draw hit, possible gut shot straight draw that you can't put past him hit. I'm just gonna check it down here. It's a decent sized pot, and I've got an ace high, but I have no idea what this player is playing. So with the showdown value, I just check back, and I wind up winning the pot. I probably could have got some more value out of such a fishy player, but I won the pot, and I didn't risk any more chips in there because I have no idea how this player plays. Next hand we're looking at is ace 9 from the button as well. We again have a limp from middle position, and I'm going to make an isolation bet here with this player's 64% fold on the flop, and hopefully I can pick up a pot here pre-flop. We've got two very tight players to my left who are only going to be raising and calling with very, very good hands. So this is a great spot to isolate or just to pick up a steal pre-flop. So I make it 5x and it folds all the way around, and we pick up a pot right there pre-flop. And again, we have a limp from Jave87 in middle position. This time we have ace 10 offsuit, and we still have two very, very tight players to our left. So I'm going to make the same exact play that I did last time, and hopefully we get the same result. These are really great spots to recognize steal opportunities, and if we do get a call from Jave, we know that he folds 62% of hands post flop to a continuation bet. So we have two really great opportunities to pick that pot up without even having any type of hand. And the third chance is when you do hit a hand. Now we're looking at Queen 10 offsuit from the button. We make a standard raise to 3x, get a fold from the small blind, and Jordan 1988 is a player we only have 8 hands on. We don't really know how he plays. Dry board, ace high. I'm going to continuation bet here, representing the ace, and hopefully just pick this pot up right here. But he makes a very quick call. Now we have a backdoor flush draw that almost got there, so I just check back the turn, and we wind up hitting our flush on the river, and he checks the river as well. At this point, I'm going to try to get some value out of the queen high flush. I'm going to make it a bet sizing. I think he'll call and see if we can't get a call with a lower diamond, and he does make a call, and we pick up a good sized pot right there. That's one of those plays that you try to pick it up on the flop, and you know you could have backdoor draws, and once in a great while those backdoor draws do hit. Gives you an opportunity to win some money later on in the hand as well. Make sure you head down to the video description for a link to get a great bonus for America's Card Room. I've got a link for Hold'em Manager as well as other great poker products down there. Head down to the video description. Hit that subscribe button, you guys. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with anyone who might be interested. And until next time, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.